Well, here it is. 66 Mustang again. We just picked it up from the shop. We had to have it looked at because after these many months it's continued to make a profound clacking engine noise. And we had it diagnosed finally, and well, the news wasn't great. It looks like a piston is damaged, and it was either installed wrong during assembly, or wasn't torqued to spec, or the pin in the bottom of the piston is loose. And mechanic said most of the pistons are making noise, so probably all the pins are kind of loose. They probably weren't set how they should have been due to the engine builder that we commissioned to build this short block. So I brought it back up to my house, and now we are going to tear it down again. We're going to pull the motor and pull the heads off, inspect the cylinders, and it's got to be machined again, hopefully only honed and not bored, because if we have to go 40 over, that means new pistons. So we just have to dig into it, inspect it, and either the machine shop that did the work or the engine builder will have to fix it. It's kind of a bummer, but it's alright. We're going to get started on it, and we'll have it torn down within the next few days, hopefully. So this is one last look as she sits on October 1st, 2013. The 302 going clack, 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 clack due to a faulty piston.
Fuck you, motherfucker! Morse Code Garage, just saying.
Come here, extension cord, you son of a bitch.
Yes, welcome to Morse Code Garage, another episode of automotive
Hey, where the fuck did you put that
repair?
That, extension thing you found?
What extension thing?
The jack handle.
I haven't found one that fits what I'm trying to do yet.
Focused. Okay, good. Yeah. So here's the motor after about 4 hours of tearing down from a complete running motor.
And charging.
As you can see, everything is
No, not that. What?
basically removed.
What are you doing with that?
This?
You don't need that. It's a 1/2-inch bolt, dude.
Fuck, then.
You don't scratch the paint.
That was just the engine bay.
Okay. You don't need that crap. There you go. I told you to need it for 1/2-inch bolt.
Ow.
Now I'm trying to take out the bell housing bolt. This I do need.
So we're trying to take out the bell housing bolts.
Yeah, so move so I can get my cheetah bar on.
The starter and what else?
Just that right now.
Everything else is removed.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Motor mount bolts are loose. And yeah, they're out.
That's the size of the fucking extension I had to make to get to your damn starter bolt.
Got it.
Wow.
Just hey, when we're putting this thing back together, remember these big ass extensions work for this shit. I like how the second he turns that shit on, I'm pressing more.
So hopefully the motor will come out tomorrow. I don't know. I guess maybe I'll come home from work and the motor will be gone and out of the car.
Yeah, fuck.
Sitting on the engine stand, even though there is a 6-cylinder still occupying.
I have an engine stand. I'm gonna bring it over. I'm gonna put the engine on that.
Professor Tommy over here, our head mechanic, has an extra engine stand.
I tried on the head mechanic, bitch. Don't you forget about it.
And one of our
unfortunately, I do have to give you that title too.
Thank you.
As much as I hate giving it to you.
our shop
You have more
foreman,
Fred has admitted the same thing to me.
Fuck you.
Jesus, will most likely be up here to assist Tommy tomorrow.
I'll be here tomorrow too.
And so we'll, what's your position at this garage?
I'd want to be in the professional welder.
Yeah, the welder.
Yeah, you're not even in a welding class. We are.
But I'm actually going for a certificate for it. You guys aren't.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's how it looks
I'm the head
now.
mechanic. You're the tool guy.
I'm the tool guy.
Yeah.
No, he's a final prep. He's like when the engine's in there and
Yeah.
everything, he makes the engines look pretty.
I'm final prep,
And
advertising, stuff like
And
that.
tool bitch.
He's
yeah.
tool bitch and final prep.
Yeah, you can call me
So,
that, it's fine.
Here's the 2 bolts for the starter.
So, stay tuned for another episode of
What's that make Clayton?
Morse Code Garage.
Clayton, unfortunately, he's the owner of.
Yeah, he's pretty much the owner.
So
Yeah,
he's
the boss.
dumb fuck.
Founder.
So he's the dumb fuck stuck with all the paperwork.
Parts, more parts coming off. And hopefully next video you will see a removed engine
What the fuck?
and engine sitting on engine stand. Alright, well it's late, I'm going to bed. They're going to continue working, so yeah, like I said, stay tuned for another fine episode of Morse Code Garage.
Pull out.
You gotta take the bolt. What you have to do now is there's a heat wrap on the starter,
Yeah.
which is going to prevent you from getting the
We'll just let them
positive
keep
wire
working.
off. Positive wire is actually still it's out into the sun.
Dude, the fucking pistons rock.
Are you really gonna start cussing more just because the camera's on?
No,
You do it all over again.
Okay.
shut up. But dude, that's insane. The pistons are freaking rocking.
Well, here we are the next day after pulling everything out. We got the motor out. Actually, they got the motor out. I won't take credit. I was at work funding more
And
crap on this
Now
car.
listen to this. Your pistons should not be making that sound.
And this is an engine with 1,500 miles on it that we didn't build. Alright, we're here with another episode of Morse Code Garage. We've got the engine taken apart now. We've got the head off the passenger side of the engine, which was diagnosed to be bad. And we found heavy scoring on both the rear pistons, mostly on the top. Heavy scoring here, light here, and then really heavy right here. As you'll notice, there's a lot of piston play inside the cylinder. Now this engine was rebuilt by a machine shop 1,500 miles ago, and it's made the troublesome engine noise essentially since day one. And in hope that the noise would go away, the owner kept driving it. But here we are now, and now this engine has to be completely gone through over again. And who is going to be covering the cost of this engine is still up in the air, because one person assembled the engine, we will not name names, and then a certain shop did the machine work on this engine, also will not name names. But with how bad the scoring is, this engine's probably going to have to be rebored. Going to have to be bored probably 40 over, which means all new pistons again, and a lot of machine work. And I'm betting that the person who built this engine and the machine shop are going to have a field day with who has to eat this rebuild. But that's where we're at right now. This engine has to be completely gone through again. And it's sad because a lot of money was invested in this engine, but due to poor work by a certain shop, apparently, or by somebody putting it together, we now have this busted down pile of crap that we had to remove from the engine bay, and that we had to take apart, and that we're going to have to put back together. So that's where we're at now. We haven't even taken this head off yet. The noise was prevalent from this side. These two pistons up here seem to be okay. I'm going to rotate the engine over now. And interestingly enough, this cylinder also has heavy scoring on it. But, oh, and also play. So, if I didn't know any better, I would say that the machine shop probably overbored this engine and or underbored it. So the clearances were too tight or they were too loose. Whoever assembled the engine didn't pay close enough attention to that, or didn't care enough to say anything, and now we have an engine that basically needs a full rebuild after only 1,500 miles.
Indeed.
And we have a very sad owner, who's also the cameraman,
Yes.
who doesn't want to be on camera.
Well, I'm the cameraman. I'm the operator of the camera. Yeah, basically we have a hunk of cast iron and aluminum that
Is now,
needs to be fixed.
yep.
And after great research and teardown and asking of professionals, we don't think it's any of our wrongdoing, because everything appears to
Nothing we
have
did
gone on
caused
correctly.
this.
The head gaskets are good. All the parts are compatible.
This was the fault of either a builder or a negligent machine shop.
Now, I don't know how much play in that piston, in
They're
any of those
supposed to
pistons,
be.
is normal. He said he set the pistons to have a little bit of play so that the engine wouldn't blow up under high RPM.
Well, I don't know if that's,
Some of that might be normal, but
it seems like an awful lot.
yeah, it does. It seems like it shouldn't be clacking and clunking like that. And those pistons are very, very nasty. That's only about 1,500 miles of driving. That was the piston. That was yeah, that's a lot of movement. I don't think it should be doing that.
That would explain the noise that this engine made.
And that one was the one that was running especially hot and lean. So.
And as you can see in the head gasket, none of the coolant ports were blocked. The gasket was installed correctly. No issues there. So it was definitely the fault of a builder or the shop. Now the question is, who's going to eat the cost on this? Because it's not going to be the owner.
And here's the engine bay, once again with no engine. This engine lived in there for 6 months or so, maybe 7.
About that.
And it seemed happy besides making a whole lot of racket. But it was a nice motor, it drove nice, plenty of power. It just clunked and clacked, made a lot of noise. So we tore it down, and yeah, here's what we got. So, well, I guess we're gonna
Somebody's not going to have a good day.
disassemble a few more things, take the other head off, check out the other side, and then hopefully in the next couple days be able to bring it down and have it checked out by professionals again. Hopefully put this on the path to being fixed or replaced or whatever we need to do. Well, here we are, back on the Mustang 66, and we got the 302 pulled out after it was making some bad noise, which was diagnosed by a professional shop as piston noise. So we were forced to pull the motor. It's been making that noise since day one, but we pulled it, and yeah, so now I'm going to work on cleaning up the engine bay again, clean up the scratches and the chips and grease and brake fluid residue. It's been eating at the paint a little bit inside the engine bay. So here she is, and a pile of parts. The engine is now at a professional's garage to be disassembled and re-mic'd and measured, and we'll look into how it went bad, and we'll start making another parts list so we can buy more new parts. Well, here's an update on my Mustang, the 66. And we pulled the engine out a few months ago after last year having dropped a new engine in, but due to some issues with that engine, and apparently the ring's not seating correctly, it pretty much destroyed the cylinder walls and the pistons. So had to go in for a rebuild again. So it's been sitting like this for a few months. It's January of 2014. The engine is almost done. It's a couple weeks away from being done. So in the meantime, I once again repainted the engine bay to fix some minor issues and added a few things like the stock washer bag, and cleaned up a lot of the wiring and relocated the starter solenoid back to the stock area. So it's ready for its engine again, which hopefully soon, in the next couple weeks, we can be dropping it in. And here's Fred's Mustang. Fred's in Reno right now, so his Mustang is living at my house. He's also converting to a 5-lug. It's a 6-cylinder car, so we're going to convert the front to 5-lug. There's my old 6-cylinder engine. And here are the rims. You can kind of see they've been painted black. You use Plastidip just to see what they look like in black. Also painted the calipers red. Little things I've done since the engine's been out. And next step, I am changing the front valance. This is the stock style valance with the stock style bumper. And that's going away, and a GT350R R model style valance is going on, the one without the bumper. So right now I'm going to take the front end apart.